Hey, it's H here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for EGLD or ELROND. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios the price may take. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Here I've changed my overall view, or my main view on EGLD, and let's take a look at that last. Let's take a look at those ones that I presented before. This one was my main before as a 1, 2, 3, 4. We were looking for this 38.2 here, and this is pretty much exactly where we are right now in price, or where we had that bottom here. Why am I shifting my bias here though? It's just because of the arithmetic scale. We have come down in price for more than 93% here overall from the highs. So overall it wouldn't make sense that this is wave 4. So instead I'm calling this more as a wave 2, which is seen on this count. As this is again 1, 2, then this structure here can't be a part of it, so it has to be a 1, 2 of cycle, 1, 2 of primary, and then we would be launching off soon. Now this here is the Fibonacci retracement, but instead of using the logarithmic chart values that we have here, we can use this as the without the logarithmic scale, so just in price terms, so 93% in price, not in logarithmic scale. We can see the 0.9 here, yeah, if you want to use that instead. Of course, in logarithmic scale, we would just come up to that 38.2. But that is pretty much the reasonings why I wanted to shift my bias. Also in time, we can see that the wave 2 here has now taken the minimum of 33% of the time it took to create this wave 1 for the wave 2. So that is again hitting it right on the dot for the minimum target. We also had this moonbow count where we had another 1, 2 even here. So if we still want to have this moonbow count here, we would have to be thinking this as some kind of a expanding diagonal, or ABC, whatever. Does not really look that good. This structure here looks more 3-wave-ish than 5-wave-ish, so of course it could be a W, X and Y coming down, and then we would be looking into this structure here as the last bit. But we'll see what happens. I don't think this is too likely, therefore I had again this as my main. Now let's jump into the closer time frames, or smaller time frames, see what we have. This is one that I introduced before, saying that we had a W, X and looking for wave Y. Where Y would have a 3-way structure. Here I've labeled it as an A, B and C. Where B did not get to the area where we could call it a flat. So we are calling this whole structure as a zigzag. Now, currently we have come down really deep for the C wave. Now it is not to invalidate or anything, but it is really deep. The 2.618 extension for this structure here is not very likely, and instead we could be looking at some other structure here instead, just because of the extension on the C wave here. I've labeled this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, but again there are other ways to label this here. We'll jump into that in just a moment. For this last leg here, I had this as a 1, 2 and this was 3. It did go beyond the 1.618, which is expected, and again this wave 5 here is really big. In the wave 4 we had this running flat, taking out the lows for the wave B here of the start of the A wave, or start of the structure, creating it a expanding flat or a running flat. So currently again we did get to the minimum target here of 0.618 of the first leg, as you see here. So that is a valid structure here. After that we would expect a large dump, because this structure was a running flat, making it really bearish views for the next structure, and that is exactly what we got. Another dump of, what is this, 53%. Massive moves. But yeah, let's take a look at the other options here. Other one, instead of the X whoops, instead of the X being here, we have it here. And now we would be looking at this as a 5-way move, whether it is finished or not. Having the A here or one more low, we would be seeing this as the first leg of A wave, or sorry, this whole structure as A wave, then B, and then C. Currently this looks more like a 5-way structure, having, if we are labeling it the same way I had it labeled on the last count, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now looking for the last 5. At that point we would be looking for this as a zigzag pattern. Okay. There is of course other ways to look at this. We could be saying that this is a 5-way move into A, B, and then C. Then we would have some kind of a running flat here again, and now we would be looking for the last bit of A, B, and C, something like this. And this could be the finishing structure for this, and we wouldn't need the ABC structure. So there are two possibilities here. Let me just label these in for something like this. So two alternates. Then we had this one where we had an A, B, and C, wave 2, or wave 1, 2, and 3 here. 3 is a bit complex here. We had this wick here on this chart here calculated by Tradingview chart, but again that wick is not present in other exchanges, so we can ignore it. With that ignored, we can say that we have a 5-way structure here into wave 3. Wave 4 again, that same running flat, and now coming down for the last leg to complete the wave 5 to complete the wave C. We're going past the 1-to-1 extension, so we would be looking for these targets here at $34 and $27. These would be the target areas for the wave C overall, at least. Let me shift this a bit. We can see that on overall this green count we have 1, 2, 3, which makes this third wave not extended at all. So we could be expecting an extension here on the 5th wave again, and these are the targets here. Let me pivot them again. So 1-to-1 extension is here at $25.26 right there. And of course the minimum target was already hit here at $40.93, but I am still expecting one more low here. However, of course, it could be possible that we have already completed the 5th wave and now we would be going higher. So let's take a look at the closer structures or the local structures from this current low. Let's go into 30 minutes. So these are the scenarios. What is this? Oh yeah, it was the volume profile. Okay, before getting into that local stuff, let's take a look at where we actually ended this whole structure. So we had this volume profile and a large amount of volume right here. So around January 2021, we had lots of volume on this small bit of price action. So that is exactly where we pivoted. Now, if we are saying this is a wave 4 of something, then we could be expecting wave 5 to dump below this high volume node. Where do we have that next area? Around $27. Sounds pretty familiar with the target here of this previous 1-to-1 extension here and 1.382. So that is definitely some area for me to take a look at more closely. So this area here, that is more targets. Of course, that would be another massive dump, another 50%, but I'm not saying that is impossible. We could be using, again, on RSI on 8 hours, we have created a new low on RSI. So that is one of the reasons why I'm not thinking this is completely done. I would like to see a new low with a higher RSI number here, so we would get that bullish divergence. Oh well, we'll see what happens. Let's dive into this local price action so it doesn't take too long in this video. So we have two options. I can see this first structure here as a 5-way move. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into an A or a 1. Then we have 3-way structure here, 3-wave, 3-wave and 5-wave into B. This looks like a flat pattern, again, which is not that likely on a wave 2, which makes it more preferable to have this as an AB already inside the structure. Usually we have a zigzag pattern here. Now, could we call that a, I guess we could be calling this as some kind of a truncation and ending it here. So this should be actually here. At that point we could, I guess, no we can't, it has retraced enough for this to be a flat. So yeah, it has to be a flat here. So our preferred option here is already a zigzag. So, oh sorry, a ABC structure, this overall structure. But anyway, the next structure here we see is a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, most likely completing a C wave here. Now we would be looking for a correction downwards as a continuation for this larger time frame trend. Now if we had cleared this 1.618 here, we would have gotten more preferred option of this being a third wave. Of course it still can be a third wave here, and while it has not reached this 1.618, at this point we would look for a swift reaction downwards as we had that flat pattern here. So either we're going to be having a triangle here or a zigzag. That is our outlook. Let's take a look at the retracement that we are expecting for the wave 4, and at which point we would even more consider this to be a wave C. And we just barely hit the 23.6 retracements here for this small leg as a target for the wave 4. But again, we would like it to get to the previous wave 4, which is most likely this structure here. So that is also the area where we have this 38.2 retracements plus this wave 4 here of the previous move. So that is my target for the wave 4. If that breaks, we are basically here at the 0.5. Again, that would be the place where we are already looking for this to be invalidated, and not that likely when the 0.5 is retraced downwards. Yeah, complete invalidation of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sequence or the impulse structure here at $47. But if we are pivoting higher, then we could still be looking at this wave 5. Now, assuming that this is indeed a wave 5 or 5-way sequence or impulse wave, and we clearly see that we don't have an extension here on the the third wave, and we would pivot from the most likely area of 38.2 here. What are we looking at as the possible extensions? There we go. And these are our targets. And these are of course on logarithmic scale. So 63. Yeah, let's use arithmetic for now. And of course on arithmetic actually we can see that we actually got to the targets here of 1.618. That is interesting. So it is definitely possible that this is the 5-way sequence and the bottom is already in. I think someone asked me about this on the Discord about EGLD being bottomed, and I don't expect this to be the case as nothing else seems to be bottomed, at least for me. But of course it is possible. But I am dollar cost averaging into coins that I'm interested in, and these are definitely not bad areas to dollar cost. Although we have already pumped significantly from the bottom, I'm still looking for very high prices if we are looking at the higher time frame stuff, right? So we have just done this move here, And if you're not dollar cost averaging into this, just because we have already moved 41%, and that goes against your beliefs in higher degree, I don't know what to say. As we are, if we are still looking into this possibility of being a 1-2, 1-2, then we are off to the moon, really. But I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to share today on ELROND. If you have other accounts you would like to share, there's a link to my Discord server in the description below. Also, if you would like me to update a certain other asset, let me know in the comments below. For now, I thank you for watching and hopefully see you on the next video. Bye bye.